The Bible's continuity can be seen in a number of themes and motifs, right? I mean, the Bible is literature, and so it has themes and it has motifs. For example, some of the Old Testament themes are the sovereignty and the wisdom of God, or the creation and the beauty and the goodness of creation. That's a theme that runs all throughout Old Testament Hebrew scripture. How about life, happiness, blessing, and joy? There again, we have a prevailing theme that saturates the Old Testament. There are more. How about sin, death, and consequences, redemption and reconciliation, a people for God, a holy nation? How about exile and return and restoration? And then finally, the eighth of these that I've chosen is rewards and punishments. So what we have is we see in our mind's eye and in the PowerPoint, you see a book that represents the Old Testament, and you see a book that represents the New Testament, and then you have this shadowy figure in between. You don't know who he is. You don't know what he looks like. You don't even know what kind of clothes he really has on, but you do see a character. You see a figure that begins to appear in Scripture, all the way from the 3rd chapter of Genesis, throughout the books of Moses, throughout the rest of Hebrew Scripture, and it develops. In literature, we see motifs when multiple themes merge together into a prevailing image that controls less dominant ones and that serve it. In the Bible, the most prevailing motif is that of the Messiah. Even in the Old Testament alone, the Messiah motif is exactly that. Right from the beginning, the Messiah figure is introduced and progressively reappears with ever more layers to his character until the full complement of his attributes is displayed. Toward the end of the Old Testament canon, we can marvel at a fully developed Messiah figure. The New Testament, of course, where I read from that encounter with the angel and Mary, it presents us with a man who spectacularly fit that description. That's why next week I'll call Adventacular.